That healthy ice cream in your freezer, it's loaded with toxic seed oils, hormone disruptors, and gut-destroying chemicals that make you fatter, sicker, and more inflamed. And the label says, hey, it's natural, but you've been tricked. These 5 popular brands are quietly poisoning your body for profit. And I'll show you the only 2 that won't destroy your health. You see, most people think the problem with ice cream is that it has sugar or calories. Well, that's not what's hurting you. The real villains are behind the chemicals in these ice cream products that wreck your gut, hormones, and metabolism. The ones hiding behind words like natural flavors, vegetable oil, or emulsifiers. And here's what's scary and also crazy. Even the brands that are marketing their products as organic, light, low carb, keto friendly are still loaded with these toxins. Today, we're going to dive deep into the 5 of the most common ice cream ingredient traps and how to protect yourself and your family. Now, I won't call out specific brands for legal reasons, but I'll show you how to read the labels and you know exactly which brands I'm talking about so you won't be fooled again. But I will share the 2 ice cream brands that I do use a little later on. Okay, the first toxic brand is the low-calorie trap. The pint is usually labeled guilt-free light ice cream. On the ingredients label, you're going to see polysorbate 80, cellulose gum, and corn syrup solids. This is the brand, the one that promises you that you can eat the whole pint for under 300 calories. But here's what they don't tell you. They replace the natural fat in cream with chemical emulsifiers like polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose. Both have been proven to damage the gut lining. 2015 study from Georgia State University found that mice, for example, fed these emulsifiers developed chronic gut inflammation, obesity, and insulin resistance. These ingredients literally make your intestinal barrier leaky, allowing toxins and bacteria to enter your bloodstream and trigger inflammation everywhere, including your brain. So yeah, you might save 200 calories, but you're paying for it with your metabolism and mental health. The second toxic brand is the vegan fake out. Okay, on this carton, you're going to see the label plant-based dairy-free delight. Does that ring any clues? Here are some of the ingredients that are toxic. Sunflower oil, emulsifiers that are under an umbrella called natural flavors, which could mean several different things. And it's not that I'm against vegan ice cream, although it's not the best option, but in most plant-based ice creams, especially this one, the first ingredient are industrial seed oils, sunflower oil, canola oil, soybean oil. These are ultra-processed, oxidized fats that inflame your cells and hormones, and they stay in your body for years. The half-life of them, meaning if you stopped eating them today, half of them will remain in your cells, creating inflammation 2 years later. They generate toxic aldehydes like 4-HNE when heated or stored, and they heat it up before you purchase it, by the way, or have it in your ice cream. And we know this is linked to Alzheimer's, fatty liver disease, obesity, and infertility. Dr. Chris Knobe and Dr. Kate Shanahan and other experts call these seed oils the biggest driver of modern disease, and I'm inclined to agree with them. You'll also see this product loaded with thickening agents, sometimes carrageenan, sometimes excess guar gum and lecithin. These irritate the gut lining for people with IBS, causing bloating, gas, and fatigue. So when you're buying your clean or eco-friendly ice cream, you're actually buying inflammation in a pint. The third toxic brand of ice cream is the high-protein hype. On the label, you're going to see the words protein ice cream. Fuel your gains. Okay, it contains some of these ingredients that are problematic. Whey protein isolate, maltodextrin, sucralose, and carrageenan. Okay, whey protein isolate is a processed protein and it's very insulinogenic. It creates a huge insulin spike. Remember, when insulin is up, you store fat. Maltodextrin spikes blood sugar, in some cases as much or higher than table sugar. Sucralose, which is essentially Splenda, is an artificial sweetener that alters the gut microbiome and can blunt also insulin sensitivity. And then carrageenan is a thickener linked to colitis-like inflammation in animal and human studies. A 2017 review in Frontiers in Nutrition warned that carrageenan can increase intestinal permeability, which is called leaky gut, and trigger immune reactions. Combine that with artificial sweeteners and you've got the perfect storm for metabolic chaos. Elevated insulin, disrupted microbiome, and bloating that kills your gym progress. The fourth toxic ice cream brand is the Natural Trickster. This label will say, made with real ingredients. And in the ingredients list, you're going to see natural flavors, mono and diglycerides, 𝙤𝙤𝙏, and corn syrup. Does that sound like real ingredients to you? Now, this word is sneaky because it uses the word natural like a halo. But guess what? Natural flavor can legally contain up to 100 chemical compounds, including solvents, preservatives, and even MSG derivatives. These can trigger dopamine and craving circuits in the brain, which is essentially engineered addiction. Then you've got the mono and diglycerides, which are industrial emulsifiers that often contain trans fats, even though, get this, the label could say 0 grams of trans fats. Studies show these additives contribute to insulin resistance and inflammation. And remember, it only takes micrograms of these compounds to harm over time. So when you see natural flavors, think chemical cocktail. And the fifth ice cream brand that is toxic is the childhood favorite. This is a classic brand pint with a caramel swirl. Can you guess what it is? On the ingredients list, you're going to see high fructose corn syrup, propylene glycol, artificial colors, and 𝙤𝙤𝙏. Now this one hurts the most because I grew up eating this, but the nostalgia doesn't make it healthy. You see, these traditional brands are loaded with high fructose corn syrup, which spikes insulin and drives fatty liver, especially dangerous after the age of 40. Then add the propylene glycol, a chemical used as antifreeze to keep texture soft. Yeah, it's FDA approved, but that doesn't mean it's harmless. Studies link it to liver and kidney stress and high exposure. Artificial dyes like red 40 and yellow 5 are also linked to hyperactivity in children and hormonal disruption. And yes, 𝙤𝙤𝙏 shows up again here, inflaming your gut and potentially feeding brain fog. So if you've woken up the next morning feeling bloated, tired, and craving more sugar, your favorite childhood ice cream might be the culprit. But there is good news. You don't have to give up ice cream. You just need to upgrade it. I'll share the 2 brands that I use, but before we get there, you want to look for a list of short ingredients on your ice cream label of ingredients with ingredients you can pronounce. So here are a few ingredients I look for. Real cream, egg yolks, organic vanilla or cacao, stevia or monk fruit, and then no gums, emulsifiers, and definitely no seed oils. And remember, if it says low calorie, plant-based, or natural flavor, those are your red flags. So the 2 brands that I use and recommend are going to be the following. The first one is Rebel Creamery. It's lower carb, keto friendly. It's sweetened with sugar alcohol called erythritol and a little bit of monk fruit. And it's made with real cream and egg yolks. No seed oils, no gums, no junk, just pure creamy goodiness. It actually tastes pretty damn good, and you can find it at a lot of supermarkets. You might be able to find it online, and if I could find a link, I'll put it in the notes down below. The second brand, it's not as good as the first one, but it's a good backup option, and it's called Enlightened Keto Collection. It's one of the few mainstream brands that uses allulose and monk fruit instead of sugar. And although it's not perfectly clean like the first brand Rebel, it's about 90% better than what's out there. It contains 90% less of the junk of what's out there. While some flavors still use small amounts of gums for texture, it's miles cleaner than the chemical cocktails in most pints. I'm not sponsored by either of these companies. I just wanted to let you know it's possible to enjoy ice cream without trashing your metabolism. So the bottom line is this: ice cream doesn't have to be the enemy, but the wrong kind can quietly destroy your gut hormones and metabolism. Read the labels. Watch for emulsifiers, seed oils, artificial flavors, and gums. Choose real ingredients that support your gut health and enjoy dessert the natural way intended without toxins or guilt. There are several questions you submitted on this topic that I'm going to address right now, but before I do, I want to give you a free resource. Look, you've been lied to. Some of the healthiest vegetables you eat every day are silently wrecking your gut, inflaming your body, and locking fat around your belly. I put together a free guide breaking down the 5 vegetables you must avoid if you want real fat loss, and what to eat instead to reset your metabolism fast. This is the truth your doctor will never tell you, but your belly fat already knows. Click the first link in the description box below, or if you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code on the screen to grab your avoid list now. Less inflammation, less confusion, and a lot less belly fat in 7 days or less. Now let's get to your questions. Are seed oils only harmful when heated, or are they still toxic when cold, like in ice cream? I kind of addressed this earlier, but let me dive deeper. Obviously, you're not cooking with the seed oils in ice cream because it's in the ice cream. However, the way that these seed oils are processed before they even go into the ice cream is the problem. These seed oils are very unstable. They're called polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they react really aggressively to oxygen pressure and heat. And how they process these seed oils is with oxygen, pressure, and heat. So it's already rancid even before it goes into the ice cream. So yes, they're still harmful. Not as harmful as you cooking with them, but they're still harmful in your ice cream. Can an occasional indulgence, like once a month, still cause damage, or is the danger from daily consumption? Well, obviously, if it's daily consumption, the damage is going to accumulate much faster. If you're doing an occasional indulgence once a month, we could argue that, hey, there's a hormetic stress from that, which is a positive stress, and it's not so bad. But it really depends on where your health is right now. If you're thriving, you feel healthy, you're at your goal body weight, you've got amazing energy levels, you're pretty much thriving, then the occasional ice cream indulgence, even if it's not the healthy ice cream, shouldn't be an issue. But if you are dealing with symptoms, you've got brain fog, you've got extra weight, then I would not recommend the occasional indulgence. And by the way, even with the healthier, clean options I shared with ice cream, it's still going to raise glucose and insulin. There's still sugar in it. It's cleaner than the other products, but it still has sugar. So the best thing you can do after you have your ice cream, clean or not clean brands, is to go for a 30-minute walk. This will help mitigate that glucose and insulin spike from the ice cream. In some cases, 30 to 40% less glucose response. And that will put you in a fat burning state much faster. It'll also help you digest it better. You could also have apple cider vinegar before the ice cream. That might taste really weird, so you're probably not going to do that. So I think the best option here is to go for a 30-minute walk after the ice cream. And I know ice cream is typically eaten after dinner for dessert, but it's actually better to have your ice cream after lunch because you're going to burn off the glucose spike later throughout the day, and you're more insulin sensitive during the day versus at night. There you have it, the 5 brands, or I didn't really reveal the brands because I don't want to get into trouble, but you know which brands I'm talking about, and the 2 brands of ice cream that I love. Share this with somebody you know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you love this lesson, you're going to want to learn a coffee hack. And if you drink coffee like this every morning, you're going to burn fat 3 times faster and fix insulin fast. Here's a clip from a recent video. I published all about this. Then click the video on the screen and I'll see you in the next lesson. Your body will start burning fat faster, even without changing anything else. What's crazy is that your morning cup of coffee might just very well be the reason why you feel stuck. First, you need to understand this. There is a relationship with your morning cup of coffee in 2 key hormones that allow you to either burn fat